and ring the bell. This is DS, and today we're going to talk about Impact Wrestling's biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory. And to review it, we brought a special guest, actually a birthday girl, Ella J from A Wrestling Gal.
Hello, DS. It's so good to see your lovely face again. It's been a hot minute.
I don't know if you guys know this, but we were both Melina's paparazzi for NWA Empower. Bound for Glory was full of amazingness, and I know that you've been very invested in the whole Deonna and Mickie James feud, so I was like, I have to bring Ella J.
Of course, I mean, not only that, but like the IInspiration, and then we had the Digital Media Championship, and where there was a bunch of knockouts, and the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, so there was a lot of knockouts featured. Somebody said that there was like 14 knockouts featured on there, which was crazy, and I think really groundbreaking.
So let's jump on to the Countdown to Glory pre-show with Digital Media Championship. It was a 6-way, and for the women, we had Chelsea Green, Jordynne Grace, and then Tennille Dashwood was replaced with Madison Rayne. I wonder what happened there. Who were the men? Fala,
John Schuyler, Crazy Steve, and Fala.
Let's first talk about this Digital Media Championship. What do you think about that?
I think it's really cool that they kind of have an actual like intergender championship in Impact. And of course, we've seen like the Knockouts division and the men's division like it overlap before. Like Jordynne Grace has competed for the X Division championship before. The Homecoming King and Queen tournaments where we saw that. So Impact is definitely no stranger to intergender wrestling, but it's cool that they actually have finally an intergender title that can be defended against so many opponents. And of course, I mean, the inaugural winner, Jordynne Grace, that was incredible. She became the first ever knockout to be Triple Crown champion.
That is very cool. I mean, this match, Jordynne Grace definitely like just hopped out of the screen for me. She was running around everywhere like ballistic cannonball, and her interaction with Fala, that was crazy.
It definitely was, and I think it's a real testament to Impact's trust in Jordynne, and of course she's no stranger to intergender wrestling, so I feel like she was really the first amazing and really, I think, rightful inaugural champion because she has experience in all different parts of pro wrestling.
Like you said, she has challenged for X Division Championship, but that's like a men's belt where women can also do it, but this is truly an intergender belt, intergender championship, which I love. What are some of the moments that stood out to you?
Everybody overcoming Fala was super cool. It took a couple people to get Fala like outside the ropes. I was like, how are they gonna get him out of this match? And then at the end, Jordynne ended up pinning John Schuyler. Chelsea is also no stranger to intergender wrestling, and neither is Madison. So it was cool to see them go against really everybody and really see a whole spectacle of 3 knockouts and 3 men competing in the same matchup that I think it added an even more. I think they could have had a little bit more time because it was like the last, I think they maybe had like 6 minutes. Like it started in the last 10 minutes, the entrances, and then they really only had like 6 minutes. I think they could have done a little bit more, but definitely a great moment for Jordynne Grace, obviously a former Knockouts champion, a former Knockouts tag team champion, and now the first ever digital media champion.
I love her interaction with her mom. Jordynne Grace was like, hey mom, I want a title. And she was like, which title? And she's like, Digital Media Championship. And the mom was like, that sounds like you.
We're in this digital age, so I mean, we still don't kind of know what it really represents, like the Digital Media Championship, but it's definitely cool that Impact is bringing another layer to both divisions.
I don't know why, but this like design of the belt reminds me a lot of Taboo Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I can see that.
Love Jordynne Grace, so happy for her. I'm excited to see what she'll do with this title. I feel like it's a great opportunity, even more opportunity for knockouts. Let's talk about the match that kicked off Bound for Glory. And then they start with like a little like singer came out.
A little Britney vibe. 2000s Britney vibe, people were saying.
And then we saw IInspiration came out with that beautiful like sheer gown and then like nude illusion outfit. Okay, a lot of people are saying a lot of things about their outfits.
I mean, it's definitely different, and I'm glad though that they are working in unison though as a tag team. And I don't think somebody pointed out that they've never really actually like coordinated their gear before. And I don't know if they like WWE just didn't let them but like this was actually true coordination, like literally the same color scheme and everything. So it was definitely new for them. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. But
I love that this gear an homage to Jillian Hall. Jillian Hall outfit. We all remember Billy and Jilly at Royal Rumble. It also has a Britney vibe. I know that a lot of people were not very impressed with her first gear, but I've been seeing some gear from their tapings and they're not playing. So you will be very, very happy about what they're gonna bring to Impact.
I love how they came out with, this is Jessie McKay, this is Cassie Lee, and we are... And then they did the pose. We are the inspiration. That was such a cool moment. Like, what a way to bust into Impact and debut.
Should we do it? We are inspiration. It's difficult with the Zoom situation.
Yeah. Coming in, I didn't know if they were going to be like the entertaining, silly, former IIconics we were used to, or if they were going to be more poised and serious. And I think they had a good combination of both of that. Right. Like, they came in with a strong confidence that we are the inspiration. And they kind of like, of course, the crowd came in roaring for them. But you didn't know whether they had some heel tendencies, they had some face tendencies. So they might be like a little bit of a tweener. But it's cool to see them really in their element, and especially going against a team that was like completely different than them in Decay, right. in Havoc and Rosemary. It's like two different opposite teams, but they brought together something really, really special. And what a way to kick off the show by crowning the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. I feel like this is definitely showing that Impact is invested in their tag team division, definitely after the Tag Team Championships also main evented Knockouts Knockdown. So I feel like this is the start to elevating the Knockouts Tag Team Championships even more, and what a way for the inspiration to come in.
Right, Knockouts division, I think they have the most solid tag division of all major promotions for sure. And IIconics, the inspiration, they're the most well-known tag team, women's wrestling, I'll say. Right? Other than like C-Stars maybe.
I would say so.
Like all the WWE teams are gone, like Zoe Stark and Io. No, get out of here. So bringing the most popular tag team into their division, I think the future of this division is really, really bright. I loved some of the comedy spots. They all had that really cute interaction with Havoc. They're a scary team. Decay is like scary team.
That's definitely for sure. And like I said, like Decay is like super dark and like spooky. And I mean, we are still in Halloween season. And like Havoc had this crazy face paint that I was kind of intimidated by. So yeah, like you said, there was those like silly, like entertaining spots, but also they got down to business. They work together so well. They have that chemistry as real life friends, and they've been a solid tag team for years upon years now, so you can definitely see the chemistry they had in there. And I feel like it was very reminiscent too of Knockouts Knockdown with the influence in Madison Rayne and Tennille Dashwood, who are more poised going against like Decay. And so I feel like it was a great match, and this is really the start of, I feel like, this revitalization in the Knockouts tag team division is kind of upping the stakes and the importance of the tag team championships even more.
I think we have to have influence versus inspiration. Like, they like rhyme.
I mean, Tennille's also an Australian, so Madison might have to watch out and be sure Tennille doesn't get stolen.
Right. So that's going to be definitely an interesting feud. I love all the moves that they brought back from WWE's IIconics Day. The sick knee, Peyton's like cool kick she brought in like later in her career. And then the finisher, I think they used like a version of that in WWE, but I think they made it even more devastating, which I love. It was like a power bomb this time.
Yeah, it was an assisted power bomb, which was again tag team classic, working together to defeat. I mean, you kind of have to defeat like the stronger Havoc and like the spooky Rosemary. So they definitely used the tag team rules and dynamic to their advantage.
You think it was a right decision to have them win the title on the first night?
Yes, I mean, going in, they now announced it at Knockouts Knockdown, and with so much buzz about where is the inspiration going to go? Because I think a lot of people thought they were going to go to AEW with that kind of open door already with Cassie's real life husband, Shawn Spears, in All Elite Wrestling. And so it was a pleasant surprise, I think, for people to realize that they were showing up to Impact and to already announce that they're in a tag team championship in their debut. I think they had to walk away with them with so much buzz surrounding them.
I agree, and especially because I don't think they are, like you said, booked as a complete face, which a lot of, I don't know, like when they bring the big stars, they usually book them as face because people love them, but they are booked as more of a heel. So I think winning the title, I think it'll be fine for their character, and then there's so much buzz. Bank on it when it's hot, you know what I mean? So I really liked it. People are talking, the eyes are going to be on Impact Wrestling, which I'm so happy for. Let's talk about Call Your Shot Gauntlet match. I think it's their like version of Royal Rumble, but intergender situation, so it's even cooler. So Tasha Steelz was number 5, Rachel Ellering number 6, Savannah Evans, number 7, Melina, surprise entrant, number 9. We gotta see this in the Royal Rumble too, by the way. Alicia was 19, and she came in with her best friend, Kenny and Kendra.
I love that Melina was the surprise entrant, but I found it kind of odd that a lot, like 4 of the 5 knockouts were person after person after person, and then you had one guy and then Melina. So they were kind of just thrown all in there together at once, which is great, but then they all got eliminated relatively quickly. I think Tasha Steelz had the longest time out of all of them in there, but it was definitely cool to see them go in there and mix it up with the guys. I do wish, though, that Tasha Steelz had seemed to be on this like new singles run trajectory, and like after having an amazing showing at the Knockdown, so I was honestly expecting her to go even further and possibly maybe even to like the final 5. And so that I had a little bit of a question mark in, but I did find it cool that Alicia came out with her kendo sticks, and that I think brought the intensity and the excitement up even more in the closing moments. Obviously, it didn't last very long, but I mean, a girl's got to bring a weapon in a ring full of guys at the end there, especially with like W. Morrissey in there.
It lasted like 2 seconds. I was like, the moment she came out, what was it? Like someone just like shoved Alicia right away. Moose did, right?
I believe so, yeah. She got to the entrance ramp and then she was pushed down, but then she brought them into the ring, I believe. She came out and she didn't even make it to the ring. But I mean, it was an entertaining spot.
It was so funny. I think she was also like first eliminated on the Battle Royale or the Gauntlet match last time. It's so funny. She just got shoved right away, and then W. Morrissey, he just like picked her up and threw her out.
Yeah. I was like, poor girl.
Melina, I was so excited about because she made her surprise entrance here. She looked really cute with that purple pink gear. Her gear game has been up lately.
It's been on fire.
She didn't have like the spotlight that I wanted her to have because she's a former women's champion. Come on. But she has some really cute like split spot with Swinger, and the elimination of Tasha Steelz was kind of cute.
I just had more expectations for them. Like I said, I was also surprised that like Savannah Evans again didn't make it that far either. And it's kind of odd, like the booking of her, because she's supposed to be the strong powerhouse and stuff. And like I was honestly fully expecting her to beat Mickie James last week on Impact. I don't know where this is going, really. I mean, I thought that they would want to protect Savannah Evans, who's supposed to be like this intimidating figure. But again, I mean, there was a plenty of other opponents in there, so it doesn't weaken her that much. But I thought they would have booked her a little bit stronger.
Me too. I thought I would see some kind of confrontation between Savannah and like Morrissey or the Moose. Yeah. I thought those would be like really cool spots.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a cute match. It was fine. But we have to talk about the Knockouts Championship match. OMG, Mickie James versus Deonna Purrazzo. Let's just talk about like the build for a bit. What did you think about how this storyline was built?
I think it's cool that this has kind of been built up for over 3 months, starting at Slammiversary, literally, where Mickie came out after Deonna had just beaten Thunder Rosa and kind of stole her spotlight, as Deonna likes to say. And so those seeds were planted gradually. It wasn't the main rivalry, but there was always that underlying factor going into Melina and Deonna at Empower. And then obviously after Deonna retained and then Mickie had her match at NWA 73, Deonna got her revenge on Mickie for stealing her spotlight by attacking her after she defeated Kylie Ray at NWA 73. And then ever since, all hell is broken loose. I mean, we saw that barnyard brawl. There's been intense words exchanged. There was even like a no touch clause going into this match, on which Deonna still found a way around with Matt the Drama King. And then obviously we had the pick your poison matches. And so there's been a lot going on in this rivalry, which I think has gradually built up over the last 3 months and really went in like truthfully believing like, is Deonna Purrazzo going to beat another legend? Or is Mickie James going to finally be the one to beat Deonna? Because coming in, Deonna was undefeated in her last 15 Impact singles matches. Is Deonna just going to plow through Mickie, another legend again? Or is Mickie James finally going to get her as what they say comeuppance and finally beat the Reina de Reinas champion and then also the Knockouts champion? Is she going to finally end her reign? And obviously, Mickie James did.
Yeah, this storyline is a prime example of why I love Impact Wrestling. This storyline was long-lasting. It has so many different layers to it. They first met as Mickie James as a booker of NWA Power. Pick your poison match. It was just masterfully written. And I think that's where Impact is really good at, because they're so good at character building and storyline building. They're just so entertaining in that way. Again, if you love watching WWE and then you were expecting similar thing from AEW, which I was, they don't necessarily do a lot of storyline or character building, but Impact is your alternative to WWE in that aspect. We have to talk about the attires, because Mickie James with that all-white cowboy realness goddess.
She almost never wears white, so I'm like, this is definitely a special occasion, because I honestly, it's probably been over a decade since she's worn all white anywhere, and I'm like, okay, sis, okay. And of course, Deonna's beautiful purple kind of Pope like outfit going on there. I mean, you can obviously tell that she is the virtuosa. She definitely is and always will be wrestling royalty, and so their gears were definitely serving.
I thought Deonna was doing Squid Game. She looked like a squid. No, just kidding.
I saw some gifs. I saw people say like it could have been the Pope. It also looked like a squid. I definitely saw some memes too.
First thing I thought of was Moira from Schitt's Creek. Have you watched it?
Oh, okay. I have not, unfortunately. I know Mickie loves it, though.
Moira would be very proud of that outfit. But yeah, she looked majestic. Mickie looked like an angel, so like attire game already amazing. And even before the bell rang, they start fighting. Mickie James went at
she
her.
Clocked her. Mickie had enough. Obviously, like, Deonna surprised Mickie on her farm, and so I think this was Mickie's way of getting back at her now that they could finally go after each other in this match. And then they finally rolled into the ring and the bell rang, and I was like, oh my god, is Deonna gonna get this early pin already?
She's pissed. Deonna came to where my son resides. The thing about Mickie James is that she's such a good storyteller, and she tells great stories inside and outside of the ring. Her interview before the match, I think she was almost like tearing up, and everything she says is so genuine. You just feel like you're just talking to Mickie James, the person. That's her power, obviously. That's why she was so popular in WWE from back in 2006 to her now being legend right now. But she brought that genuine babyface underdog character here. And yeah, the beginning part of the match, Deonna was just ragdolling Mickie.
Yeah, I was honestly like, gosh, here we go again. But obviously it turned around. Mickie got some offense in there, and then I thought for sure the closing moment, once Deonna hit that Queen's Gambit, I'm like, oh my god, this is over. And then Mickie kicked out. But then the ref got knocked out, and Mickie tried to go for the cover. I was like, oh my gosh, Deonna is going to get like the sneak roll-up victory while the ref isn't looking or something. But obviously, Mickie James, I think, was the first person to kick out of the Queen's Gambit in a long, long time. There was a lot of reversals and stuff, a lot of high moments, but Mickie ended up obviously hitting the Tornado DDT for the win. And I still couldn't believe it until I heard that 1, 2, 3. And then Hardcore Country played.
Deonna's reign, I mean, she's been having great matches after great matches. I would describe her matches as like wrestling clinic. Like it's classic, good wrestling matches. Here, I think Mickie also brought her forte into the match, which is like, again, great storytelling and some creative spots. I loved those different layers that were in the match on top of great wrestling that Deonna brought. Kicking out of each other's finisher, that was amazing moment. And then the whole referee shenanigans with steel chair, I thought that was such a fun
I got scared.
spot.
So did I. I got scared though. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then the last moment, that amazing storytelling of Deonna Purrazzo having that little like hockey moment, mocking Mickie James by like taunting, and that ended up costing her title when Mickie James hit her Mickie DDT. Like, I think that storytelling was just so spectacular.
And I think what made it even more special, and I don't even think Mickie said this on social media, but it did make it across Impact Television, but that win was so emotional for Mickie, like, and you could see it. But that match was really honestly in tribute of her sister who had passed away 2 years ago from cancer, and her sister's birthday was the day before that. And so the day of, she says, I'm doing this for my sister. And so that's why she's pointing at the end up above, because that was her sister. That win was for her younger sister, and obviously that was such an emotional win for her. And the crazy thing is both of them have had very similar paths ever since being released from WWE. You know, both came from a place where they weren't being utilized to their full potential and a whole lot more. But I mean, Deonna Purrazzo, I think, was really the beginning proof that like you can make a name for yourself outside of WWE, and now Mickie James is also doing that again back in Impact and then with NWA. And what's even cooler is that for all 4 of the women who were released on April 15th, 2021, which was the last time I was on this show, Chelsea Green, Cassie Lee, formerly Peyton Royce, Jessica McKay, formerly Billie Kay, and Mickie James were all released that day, and all 4 of them were vying for championships at Bound for Glory, and obviously 3 of them walked away with championships. So how cool is that full circle moment too?
That's great. I didn't even think about that. That is amazing. What do you think is in future for Mickie James as a knockout champion?
Well, obviously, we're getting Mickie James versus the winner of the Knockouts Knockdown tournament,
Yes.
Mercedes Martinez. So that's already a win for women's wrestling fans. That's going to be epic, a battle of legend versus legend. So I'm here for it. Overall, Mickie is now a 10-time like major women's champion across WWE and Impact. I just hope that this is like a pretty good solid run, and not where she like drops the title for a moment, where she can finally get that creative freedom and finally like a noteworthy championship run, because it's the first time in 8 years that over 8 years where she's held a major title. So I'm just hoping, I think whoever she faces in the Knockouts division is going to be amazing. I just hope that they keep it on her for a little bit, because I feel like, again, much like Deonna, it's kind of that full circle justice moment.
I'm so excited for the Mercedes Martinez versus Mickie James match. That is going to be legendary. Wow, I'm so excited. And then I also think Deonna and Mickie are not done yet. I think there is opportunity there.
Deonna's definitely, or at least I would assume, demand a rematch, and rightfully so. I mean, she is a 2-time Knockouts champion. So, I mean, I'm excited to see that kind of rematch, assuming it happens. I get to see my dream match again. I'm okay with that.
And then the news that's floating right now is that her first defense was against Madison Rayne, another legend versus legend. And maybe you can see Melina versus Mickie James too. Like, I have so many ideas in my head, which I'm so excited about. Impact Bound for Glory, what was your thought?
14 knockouts were shown, and possibly even more, on between the Countdown for Glory card and the main card across four different matches. So I think it was a solid showing for the women. Obviously, we came out with new tag team champions. We came out with a new Knockouts champion. And so I think this is really, I mean, justice for the WWE girls. But also, I think, obviously, now you have some new names coming in like Masha Slamovich, and maybe Mercedes Martinez is going to get signed. So the momentum for the Impact Knockouts division is definitely riding a high right now. And I'm so excited to see going into 2022 where they go.
A couple weeks ago, Gail texted me and she was like, "You'll be very happy with knockouts." So I'm like, it is happening. I think this is just a beginning of everything. It's just a start of something new here.
It feels so right.
I love it. I'm so excited for the future of knockouts and Impact Wrestling. Ella, thank you so much for joining in for Bound for Glory review on your birthday. Happy birthday!
Thank you. Like I said, you're the only person that I'd be doing work for on my birthday. And of course,
Thank you.
I'm not going to say no to talking about Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo.
And you have your huge 200 episode special coming out for AEWG, right?
My 200th episode will be dropping in a couple days, either Thursday or Friday, with DS Shin, where we talked about the current state of the Impact Knockouts division. But overall, it's a collection on the current state of women's wrestling in literally 7 different divisions. So you'll have to tune in to find out.
And where can we find you online?
If you go to my Twitter at It's Ella J, there is a link tree in my bio with all my projects, with my podcast, with Women's Wrestling Talk, Belle to Belle's, SC Scoops, WrestleZone, and of course, a few other things. But if you go to the bio in my Twitter at It's Ella J, you can find everything.
And you can find me at DS Shin and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter and on TikTok. I caved and made it. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think I'll be like a dancing type.
A TikTok famous? I mean, you never know, DS. You're iconic no matter what you do.
Inspirational.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. See you next time. Bye.